Good afternoon, fellow luxury consultants, and welcome guests onto our webinar tonight. I'm Boris Gulka. I am from Edmonton, Alberta. I am a diplomat here, one of the trainers here in Edmonton as well. I get the honor to introduce our guest trainer tonight. We are having a blast here in Edmonton with the launch pad that has been created for us. Tonight we have a very, very special guest who's going to be doing a training for us on our compensation plan, how we get paid, how most of us were attracted to this business. Personally, myself, when I looked at this 5 years ago today, my anniversary, 5 years being a luxury consultant, it's an exciting time. I really just drew into the comp plan because we're actually getting paid for what we do. When our CEO, Ramin, created this comp plan, he made sure that we're not going to get hurt and we're going to get paid for what we do, and actually even greater than what we do. It's fascinating. This is Renee Liao that's going to be doing the training on the comp plan. Originally grew up in Toronto, now has become the first youngest millionaire in global wealth trade by age 32. He's become a very dear friend of mine, one of the top trainers of the company. He's personally trained me on the knowledge of this company as long as many others. I admire Renee very, very much. He has a home now in Taiwan. He has two beautiful children. He never has to leave their side, only by choice because of the wealth generated through global wealth trade. Being a luxury consultant, this man also has won the incentive to the Panama retreat. I'm going to call it going to be a lot of fun. He's a regional ambassador and he enjoys what he does. He loves what he does because it's a safe business. He's going to share with you the comp plan and how we get paid in detail. He has a lot of fun doing this, and I truly enjoy learning from this man because I'm not a great numbers man, but I do understand our comp plan, and Renee's going to teach us this. Renee Liao, are you on the line?
Yes, hello, Boris. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, hello, Boris.
Yes, I can hear you perfectly fine. Please, yes,
Okay, well, thank you so much, Boris,
please.
for that kind introduction. And a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you are in the world. And thank you for joining us on tonight's training. And tonight's training is going to be one that I can pretty much say is going to leave a nice big reminder in your head for whenever you are working in any kind of company with their compensation plan. And I want to share with you guys really quickly just a bit of background on, of course, myself. Um, and my experience with comp plans. But of course, first of all, again, thank you very much, Boris, for being my amazing host for tonight. Looking forward to seeing you very soon, of course, in Edmonton, Alberta. I know we have some big plans in Alberta coming up. So again, thank you so much, Boris, for being my host for tonight. And on to the training for tonight. A bit about myself. I've actually been part of different companies before in the past. And my first company was actually in a nutrition company with a binary system. And anyhow, it was my first company. So to me, I thought that I didn't know what I didn't know, and I didn't realize that there's other comp plans in the world. So to me, my first company, just because of lack of knowledge, I thought that it was the best comp plan in the world. I thought we had the best products in the world because that's what I was told. And long story short, 2 years later, I realized that I was in the wrong company. And most of us, unfortunately, who are new to this industry, don't seem to understand or just with lack of knowledge, we're not aware that there are other comp plans out there. And doesn't it make sense that if there's a better paying comp plan than the one you're currently in, doesn't it just make sense to work that comp plan simply because you get paid more for the same effort? So after my first company, I went to another company, and I thought that at that point in time, I started to learn more about compensation plans and start to actually try to understand and figure out how to get paid in the system and what's the best way to maximize their earnings in the compensation plan. And it was confusing. I mean, I went from binaries to matrices. I've studied stretch-out breakaways, hybrids, different kind of comp plans to realize that there's just so much out there knowledge-wise in comp plans that I can guarantee you 99% of the people in MLM or network marketing don't even understand the comp plans that are out there. And sadly enough, most of them don't even understand how their own compensation plan works. So for tonight, get your pen, paper ready because it's going to be an amazing call. I spent pretty much all night long last night preparing this training. Of course, for me here in Taiwan, it's about 10:15 in the morning. Here in my $1,000,000, 1,000 square feet condo here in Taiwan, actually in my bedroom facing the mountains. So really excited to be at my place and doing call for you guys tonight. So moving right along in our training. We're going to talk about the pitfalls of compensation plans in MLM or network marketing. Now, some quick notes for yourselves is that there's many different kinds of comp plans in the world. There's just so many different unique and their own ways of twisting things around. And there are many, many comp plans in the world, but generally it breaks down to five. Okay, there's five main comp plans that you'll be exposed to by researching and looking around in this industry. Of course, there's many pitfalls in compensation plans that one doesn't know until one's told. And tonight, my job is to educate you guys, of course, on the comp plan. Now, for tonight, just to be very clear, I'm not going to spend so much time going into the GWT compensation plan because a lot of that is already available in our main tour as well as in our comp plan breakdown document online in the back office, as well as many of the trainings at boot camps and that kind of stuff. So, but for tonight, it's more focused on the pitfalls of comp plans in MLM. And again, to be very clear, some compensation plans actually have more than one pitfall, and some even have almost all of them. And it's very scary to know that if you're in a company or if you were in a company that has more than one pitfalls, then I'm very certain that you'd be very happy to hear this training for tonight. And we have what's called our game over clauses. And a game over clause, simply put, is when you see a game over clause, it just means you've hit a brick wall. It means you've reached the end of the track. It means the sky is not the limit. And it means it's time to throw in the towel. Because if you see and you understand and you learn these pitfalls and we tell you it's a game over clause, you're going to realize that it's not worth your time putting effort into doing what you're doing. As well as when you see a game over clause, know that there's something else better out there. And that thing is GWT. So get ready, your pen, paper, pencils ready here. Of course, I do have this training being recorded as well as I do have the PowerPoint available for download, of course. I'll be sharing with you those links a bit afterwards. But the first pitfall when it comes to looking at a comp plan is the payout allocation. In other words, is your payout in your company more focused on the commissions or the bonuses? So what's the difference? Well, commissions are not bonuses. They're very, very different. And the main difference is that commissions are your main revenue streams because that is essentially the team commissions, which is your passive income or your residual income. That is your main revenue stream. Okay, because commissions are paid weekly, they're paid forever. And most companies don't want to pay you commissions because they have to pay you forever. Okay, whereas bonuses are really, they're a small part of your income because bonuses usually only come once and you have to work for it to get it again. So it's not like you can do the work once, get paid for life. You have to constantly work towards those bonuses. So again, bonuses are one time. And again, once you get them, usually you have to do something to get it again, to requalify, do some more work, or do something. Okay, so understand that if you see a compensation plan that focuses mostly on bonuses and a very small amount on commissions, game over. You want to walk away from that comp plan because it means that your income will be very unstable. 1 month can be very high and then next month be very low. 1 month very high, next month very low. And who wants that? So again, payout allocations that are focuses in bonuses make the company rich, okay? Because they only have to pay you one time, and they keep most of the money for themselves. Whereas payout allocations are focused in commissions make you rich, makes the distributor rich. So you want to find a comp plan that focuses most of its payout in commissions. And again, in general, as a general rule, 80% of a payout allocation should be in commissions. So if a total company payout for company ABC is 50%, then you want to double check that 80% of that 50% is in commission, not in bonuses. Okay, so it should be commissions, not in bonuses. Because if most of your 50% total company payout is focuses on bonuses, then it means that you're not going to be making a lot of passive income or residual income. And most of us join our marketing or MLM because we want to make a lot of passive income, not bonuses, right? So again, I've seen some examples of some companies, and most of my examples that you will see in this training, I don't put any specific company names, but they actually are, I guess, related to other companies I have seen in the past. But if ABC Company has 20 ways to earn commissions, and 19 of them are in bonuses, and I kid you not, I've actually seen this. It's like a 20 income earning stream, and 19 of them are in bonuses, and only one is commissions, where the payout was so low, then game over. Game over. What's the point? You're gonna be, spending your next 20 years spinning your wheels, working as hard as you can to have one good month and 10 bad months, and your passive income is gonna be about $50 a month. Okay, you don't want that. So game over. All right. And again, when you actually looked at the other 19 ways of bonuses, most of them actually are the same kind of bonuses. They just make it harder and harder to get to the next bonus level, which is kind of interesting. And that, my friends, is our first pitfall to compensation plans, is a payout allocation in commissions or in bonuses. And again, in GWT, our focus is payout in commissions. Okay, we pay out 70%, and 60% of that 70 is focused in team commissions. So well more than 80% of our payout is in team commissions. And again, you should understand this by now, but we pay you 10% commissions from the very first person down to infinity. So that is how much we pay out in commission. So again, 10% is a lot more than 1%. Pitfall number 2 is what I just talked about a second ago, is payout levels. In other words, how many level does your pay plan pay? So how many levels does your pay plan pay? So for example, if your plan doesn't pay to infinity, then game over. There's no point in working that comp plan, because why would you work? And as you work longer and longer and longer, what's going to happen is, historically, most of the bulk of distributors in one's downline is actually past 8 levels. So if you had 1,000 distributors, most of those 1,000 of distributors are going to be after your first 8 levels. So does it make sense that the longer you're in your company and the deeper your organization is becoming, that you're not getting paid on that stuff? I mean, it's almost like saying you have 1,000 distributors, okay, and the longer in your business, the deeper it's getting. So you have 1,000 people, but you're not getting paid on those 1,000 people. You're only getting paid on the first 8 levels. So I've seen other comp plans where you might only get paid down to the first, for example, 8 levels or 10 levels, but then you have to do something to unlock all levels, to unlock the rest of the levels from level 9 to level infinity. If you have to do something to unlock these levels, then same thing again, game over. There is no point in doing that, because why not join a plan that pays you down to infinity without having to do anything, without having to do something? You just get that automatically from day one. And all luxury consultants in GWT get paid from level 1 down to level infinity, 10% on day 1 without doing anything. That is a proper and amazing comp plan. So again, I've seen other examples in the world out there to share with you guys. ABC Company, they'll pay you 0.25% on your first level. I mean, it's not even 1%. They're paying you 0.25% on your first level. Again, I can't say which company this is, but it is a real company. It's just not called ABC. But 0.25%, I mean, if that means that if someone in your first level spent $100, 1% of $100 is $1, and 0.25% is 25 cents. I mean, can you imagine getting paid 25 cents on all this hard effort of bringing someone in who's putting $100 into the plan, and you're getting paid 25 cents, 0.25%? Would you prefer 0.25%, 25 cents, or 10%, which is $10? What's your pick? Anyhow, this company here then pays you 0.25% on the second level, maybe 0.5% on the third, 1% on the fourth, 2% on the fifth. And so the further you're going down, you're getting actually more and more percentages here. and perhaps 8% on the last level. Now, mind you, it's it's very tricky because on the first level you might have 3 people. On the second level you might have 9 people because by powers of 3, right? 3, 9, third level 27, fourth level 51, then 153. So if you're getting paid all this, my point is that it's very easy to get your first level filled out, your first 3 people. We're making a 0.25%. It's not so hard to get your second level filled out with 9 people at 0.25%, but it's almost impossible to have on your 6th, 7th level to have all 512 people on that level there. It's almost impossible. So the companies are very sneaky. They pay you a lot of money on these lower levels because they know that you won't have many people there. So again, at the best case scenario with this company, you're making 8% on the last level if you're lucky enough to have people on this level. Whereas GWT, where the grass is greener, we pay you 10% on every single level down to infinity. And so that is, of course, our pitfall number 2. And I want to continue this by saying that the same company that might pay you down to 8 levels, what they do is they have this thing where you can work harder and do something, and once you achieve this something or this rank, then you can get paid 1% on level 9 down to the rest. Again, game over. If you have to achieve something or do some kind of a work in order to unlock the rest of the levels you get paid down to, game over. There's no point in working that comp plan. So I want to share with everyone the 5 types of compensation plans that you will find in the industry out there. One of them is called the matrix. And the matrix definitely pays you to certain levels. So you'll see these things called a 2x10 matrix or a 3x7 matrix. A 3x7 matrix simply means that you can personally have 3 people or 3 different legs. Okay, so every person can have their 3 legs. So you will have 3, and then those 3 will have their own 3, so you'll have 9. Then those 9 will have their own 3, so 27 people. And you get paid down to 7 levels. So 3 is how many legs you can have, and 7 stands for how deep you can get paid. Again, because you're getting fixed on how many levels you get paid down to, game over. The second kind of comp plan is called the unit level. And the unit level is one of the most oldest ones where you really have to build very wide. And I apologize for the one quick second here. It's going to do a quick little typo check up here. But again, with unit level plans, same thing. You actually get paid wide. You actually have to build very wide. So you're trying to put as many people personally attached to you as possible. And you don't want to build very deep. So they actually don't want you to build very deep because you don't want to build deep because you don't get paid for anything, for example, beyond your 3rd, 4th, or 5th level. Okay. So again, in unit level plans, it pays to certain levels, like 5 levels deep. So you want to build wide. Again, game over. Because the longer you're in business, the deeper your organization will become. So imagine if we gave you a statement every year that this year you brought in $10 million of sales. However, because you only get paid down to your first 5 levels, you can only get paid upon 50,000 of that $10 million of sales volume. How painful would that be? So again, if it pays you down to 5 levels, like unit levels, game over. The third type is called the stair-step of breakaways. And these kind of comp plans are very confusing for most people because they don't understand how it works. But essentially, you have to climb certain steps to achieve certain ranks. And once you do that and you achieve a certain rank, what happens is your team that you've already built initially actually breaks away from you. Because when you attain a certain rank, or if someone in your team attains your rank, then your initial team actually breaks away from you. So they don't pay you the same amount from the same team. So my point is that even in the stair-step breakaways, because your team breaks away from you, so it doesn't pay you to infinity. Again, game over. Okay, it doesn't pay you to infinity, so it's game over. Of course, the fourth one is our binary. And in the binaries, of course, there are no levels in binaries, which is great because most binaries pay you down to infinity. However, there are many different types of restrictions in a lot of binaries. So even though it pays you down to infinity, you don't see a lot of that payout because it has so many different restrictions in the plan. Okay. And the last one, of course, is hybrids. And hybrids are simply a combination of the first four. They try to combine different elements from the first four into a new comp plan. But still, again, they usually have a fixed amount of how many levels they can get paid down to. So again, game over. Our third pitfall, I hope you guys are taking a lot of notes here, but our third pitfall, of course, is payout and ranks. And ranks, oh my goodness, we could talk all day long about ranks, but I have a few slides here to explain to you ranks in a nutshell. But ranks are probably the worst thing you can ever have in any kind of compensation plan. So if your company has a rank, big game over, okay? So does your comp plan have ranks? And let me start by asking this. What do you think is the purpose of having a rank? And most people will tell me, well, Renee, maybe it's for different things, but really the answer is ranks only have one purpose and only one purpose. And that purpose is not to motivate you. So one of the purposes of ranks is definitely not to motivate you. In other words, people often think that ranks are in place because it creates people to be motivated to work the plan to try to achieve these different ranks, but it's not. They don't motivate you. Trust me, it's a common myth because there's only one purpose of ranks, and that the purpose is ranks simply restrict the flow of money from the company to you. It's restricting how much you make. Because think about this. Companies only have ranks in place because they can't afford to pay everyone the same payout. Okay, if they did, most companies would go bankrupt. Okay? So think about this. Why does someone who has accomplished this super NATO commander rank, this really high paying rank, make more than you do? Why is that? You're both working so hard, so why does one get more? Why does person A, who's been coming for 5 years, doing all this work, has a super GI Joe rank, get paid more than you do for doing the same work? Is that fair? Again, most people don't realize that there's other comp plans in the world like GWT, where you can join today, and I've been in business for 5 years, we make exactly the same amount of money. We follow exactly the same compensation plan. Nothing says that I can make more than you because I have this rank. So it does exist in GWT. So again, if a company says that they pay out 50% payout, total company payout is 50%, but you have to accomplish the Super NATO Commander rank or the Super Special Triple Diamond 5-star Janitor rank to unlock the 50%, then it's not 50%. It means that it's 50% if you unlock the highest rank. So most people who are in the companies are not even seeing 50%, they're probably seeing 20%. Again, people just don't know there's something else better out there. Because in GWT, we have no ranks. You can make the highest amount of income that anyone else can just by being the diamond package. That's it. That's how special our comp plan is. So, again, other companies have these huge bonuses, okay, that it looks so fancy on paper. You're thinking, wow, I can make $1 million bonus if I achieve this rank. But again, if you have to unlock these ranks or reach these ranks to unlock these bonuses, then what in the world does these bonuses really have to do with you? Because in the company, if you only have one Super NATO Commander GI Joe janitor guy at the very top, who's this rank, who's getting all this money, then that bonus doesn't apply to 99% of the people in the company, right? Because if you have to be this top rank to get this, and there's only one person with that rank, then those bonuses have nothing to do with 99% of the people in the company. So really, if you understand this in the future, ranks are simply a pain in the behind, okay? Because number one, you have to achieve the rank firstly, and it's not easy to do that. And I've done that in my last company where I had to climb, I guess, the rank hierarchy. It's such a hard work to do that. Then you have to maintain the rank because, what happens if you were to lose your rank? You have to maintain that rank. And the question I just asked you is, can you lose your rank? Because if you can lose your rank, then the other question you ask yourself is, if you lose your rank, do you lose the bonuses that are attached to that rank? And furthermore, can your team lose their ranks? So if your team can lose their ranks, then do you lose your rank too? So if you're this rank, above your other guys, and your guy in your team loses his rank, do you lose your rank as well too? And usually you do. So here is a very simple understanding if you're wondering, well, Renee, what do you mean by ranks, and how does ranks work? So in this funny diagram here, we simply have 5 ranks, okay? We have A, B, C, D, and E rank. That's how it works. And so to become a D rank, what you have to have is have 2 E's, okay? So have 2 people, for example, who join your team, 2 E's, okay? And to become a C, you have to have your 3Ds. And to become a B rank, you have to have 4 Cs. And so again, each of the Cs will have their own 3Ds, and those own 3Ds will have their own 2Ds. And to become an A rank, which is the Super NATO GI Joe rank up here, okay, you have to have 5Bs. So as you can see, to go up the rank and hierarchy, it gets harder and harder and harder because you have to build more structures and have people in different leagues at certain levels, okay? And that is how it works. So, and there's you. You in the green, that's where you are. And so in other words, right now you have 3Ds in your team. Now, to give you some ideas of what can happen in this is, let's say that's you again, but now you're not a C, you are currently a D. So you are a D and you want to become a C rank, okay? To become a C rank, you want to have 3Ds, right? But you don't, because over here you have an E. So what's your goal? Your goal right now is you want to help this E person become a D status, okay? And we have what's called compensation plan contradictions. In other words, you might think that it makes sense that you want to help E become a D, but really there's a contradiction here because yes, you want to help E become a D, but at the same time, you don't want to help your other 2Ds. You don't want to help them because of the adverse effects that might happen to you. So, because what happens if one of your other Ds is growing really fast, is hot shot in your team? What if this other D in your team becomes a C rank first before you do? So before you got a chance to attain this C rank, they beat you to it. Then what happens? And uh-oh, I can tell you it's not going to be a good thing because this happened to me before in my last system here. But if this person here now became a C, in other words, they have their 3Ds, and you are still a D rank, what happens now? Well, you just lost a whole lot of bonuses. If your plan was bonus focused, then you just got the big game over clause. So what's going to happen here is traditionally it's backwards because the people who are on fire working your team, this hot shot, this became a C, usually you want to keep pouring fuel on the fire because they're the hot shot. But in these kind of rank situations, you're forced to make this hot shot slow down because if he goes too quickly, goes beyond you, then you just got screwed essentially. Okay, so again, it's a contradiction. So another example of what's bad about ranks is, let's say you are here and you are a C rank currently. Okay, so you have your 3Ds. Okay, that's great because you managed to actually build the structure perfectly and the timing was just right. But what happens if one of the D in your team loses his rank and becomes an E? Well, usually if this D person here lost his rank and became an E, then you just lost your rank too, and you became a D rank as well. And now you also lost a bunch of your bonuses and commissions, and again, game over. And what's really scary about these kind of ranks is not only does it demotivate you, and you might be able to be strong enough to remotivate yourself to do it again, but it demotivates your team member who just lost their rank. In most cases, they're going to want to quit. So I see people climb up ranks very quickly and lose their ranks very quickly because they couldn't sustain themselves. But ranks are just a problem within itself. And I have had serious problems in the past before in my other companies, again, with ranks. So I understand the pains of how this worked. Okay. Because, for example, in my last company, most of you know Sherry Zhao and myself. Sherry Zhao, of course, is our first female regional ambassador. And in our last company, she was the one who actually sponsored me into the business. And what happened to her was I actually ended up doing really well, and I actually surpassed her rank. So, for example, Sherry might have had a C rank, and I was a D, but then I became a C, and then I became a B rank. So unfortunately, I didn't realize this because all I cared about was how much I was making. But little did I know that, Sherry, because I surpassed her rank, got the big game over. So, and I didn't realize this until it actually happened to someone in my team, and then it happened to me. So again, it might motivate you at first, but I can guarantee you it'll destroy you. It'll demotivate you later on. Alrighty, so pitfall number 4. Okay. Oh, by the way, um, if it sounds like a gloomy, doomy kind of call, don't worry because in GWT, we don't have these kind of problems. We pay you so much more. We have no ranks. In GWT, the grass is greener. Okay, pitfall number 4, payout gimmicks and car programs. There have literally been thousands of lawsuits from distributors suing the companies for the car programs. Why? Because whose name is on the lease? Is it yours or the company's? Okay, in most cases, you are forced to put your name on the lease. And what happens if you don't maintain the qualifications for your car? What happens to you then? Well, if your name was on the lease and you don't maintain your qualification for the car program, the company won't pay you your car allowance. So guess who's paying for the car now? You. And if you don't have that $1,000 per month available to pay for that BMW or that luxury car program, then you're in serious trouble now because now you have to try to get rid of your lease. So again, if you end up paying for it, it can actually make you bankrupt because you're literally using all of your savings and your income to pay for this car that you didn't really, you shouldn't have put on a lease in the first place. So be very careful with companies that give you a car too quickly. If you get a car too quickly, it's a big warning to be very careful because it means that most likely you'll be paying for it yourself. Okay? And besides, would you rather get a car lease that you have to pay and commit $1,000 a month at the very least to drive, and you just got started, or would you rather take that $1,000 in cash? And for most people who just started this company or started a company and aren't making the huge incomes yet, it makes more sense to take the money. So, in GWT, what's nice is that we pay you most of the earnings in commissions. So again, we pay you well more than $1,000 in cash in commissions, and we don't force you to get stuck in this car lease. So again, if you look as an example, which is actually a real-life example, there have been many BMWs on LeaseBuster because the people who qualified them at first cannot maintain the qualifications for the free payment and are now trying to get rid of them. Again, game over. Because in GWT, once you get the car, it's yours without any qualifications. You don't have to maintain anything every single month. The car is yours to drive. And so again, pitfall number 4 is about the gimmicks and the car programs. Okay, now pitfall number 5. This is another big one. Payout flushing or blocking of commissionable volume. Okay, payout flushing or blocking of commissionable volume. In other words, does your compensation plan flush volume? And by the way, you might not see this because they won't write it on their comp plan breakdown for you. They won't tell you that they flush volume. You have to dig and ask and check the company's policy and procedures to find out if it actually flushes volume. Okay. While in GWT, again, the grass is greener, the air is fresher. We simply do not flush anything. So in other companies, you want to ask yourself, does it flush volume after you reach a certain payout? I've seen companies that once you cycle, for example, like $1,500 this week, the rest of the volume is flushed. To be frank, that sucks. Okay. GWT, we never flush volume even after your payout. So you can constantly be making your $500 team commission payouts. We never flush the remaining volume. Does your comp plan flush volume after a certain period? So, maybe after a year or so or a month, does it flush the volume? I think comp plans after 1 year, they completely flush all of your volume, which again, in my opinion, sucks. Because imagine Reza, who, for the first 3 years, he knew that the company was solid, but he wasn't ready yet, but he joined. The first 3 years, he just was, accumulating his monthly IA. He had about $8 million in sales volume on one side. Imagine if every year he got flushed, right? So what's amazing about GWT is we don't flush our volume. So people who come back 3 years down the road, have a big team, they never want to stop because they have all that volume still waiting for them to get paid out on. Okay? So GWT, we never flush volume. Other question, does your comp plan have a block on the volume that can accumulate? In other words, do they put a certain level requirement of how much volume can actually accumulate? And most companies have a maximum of like $100,000 volume that can be carried over year after year. Okay, so Reza, if you imagine his $8 million, he can only maintain 100,000 of that every single year. That would again be a sucky thing. Of course, other question is there a maximum to how much volume can carry over? And some companies only allow you to maintain $100,000, a week maximum rollover, or they don't even let you to carry over your volume. Okay, well in GWT, we have infinite carryover volume. Whatever money that you don't use to get paid out this week, you carry that over for the following week till infinity. We don't ever touch your volume. So again, is there a maximum in how much commission you can make from your business center, and how much is it? So I've seen other kind of comp plans that are really tricky. It doesn't say anything about flushing. However, they have a maximum of how much you can make from your business center. Okay. And in this example, I've seen one that only allows you to make $1,000 per week per business center. I mean, if it's your first company, it would sound great. I mean, $1,000 a week. Wow, that's pretty cool. But in reality, if you knew there was other options out there, like in GWT, it's $10,000 per week. Wouldn't you choose $10,000 per week for the exact same effort than $1,000 per week? So in other words, to understand this, to make the same income in this ABC company, where you can only make $1,000 per week maximum on a business center, you have to build 9 additional legs to reach $10,000 per week. Because once you maximize your first business center, you have $1,000 per week, you have to open up a second business center to make another $1,000 a week, and a third business center to make another $1,000 per week, and a fourth business center. My point is you're constantly having to open more and more business centers in order to maximize on making 10 grand a week. So GWT, with just 2 legs, 1 business center, 2 legs, you can make $10,000 per week. So if you have to make the same income, if you have to build 9 additional legs, I'm sorry, it's game over time. Okay, pitfall number 6. Wow, I'm really getting fired up here in this whole training because it's really, I guess, sort of, passionate for me. I get really fired up here. But number 6 is how many legs do you have to build? Because if your compensation plan requires you to build more than 2 legs, then again, game over. Game over. Okay? Because isn't it obvious, guys? Isn't building 5 legs easier than building 10 legs? Yes. Isn't building 3 legs easier than building 5 legs? Yes. Isn't building 2 legs then easier than building 3 legs? Of course, right? Because to build 10 legs, you have to maintain momentum in 10 different legs. So the easiest one of all is 2 legs. Okay, you can't build 1 leg because that'll be illegal to get paid for doing nothing because people are just putting people below you. You can get paid on that. So legally, you have to have at least 2 legs. So why build more than 2? Okay, so if your company has making you to build more than 2 legs, game over, because longevity and retention is in depth. The deeper you build your organization, the stronger it becomes. Why? Because someone joined for a while and has no one on their team, what will happen? They usually quit, right? So if you sponsor Joe and for 10 months, Joe doesn't have one person join his team, he's probably going to quit. So the deeper you build it, the more stronger it is, and the more longevity you will have. For example, if you had 10 people join you, and you had to build 10 different legs, then you would want to put one person of your 10 on each of the 10 legs, right? But if you only had to build 2 legs, then you could put 5 people together on one leg and 5 people together on the other leg. So isn't it just nice to have someone join below you? I mean, when I joined, my first week, someone already joined below me. That felt great. I felt like, wow, this is actually really taking off here, right? So again, longevity and retention is in depth. Pitfall number 7, okay, is your payout on all of the legs. So it's different than number 6. Number 6 was payout on how many legs, right? Whereas payout number 7, pitfall number 7 is payout on all of the legs or just one of the legs. So does your compensation plan pay you on volume for all of your legs? For example, I've seen some comp plans out there, and it's shocking because most of the recent binary comp plans in the market today only pay you on what's called the pay leg or the weaker leg. Okay? If they do that, then game over. Because to me, when they tell you they're only paying you on the pay leg or the weaker leg, I have another name for it. I call it the sucker leg. Okay, you're getting paid on this leg because you're being sucked into this comp plan, not knowing that there's other things better out there. Okay, because if a company only pays you on your weakest leg, what does that mean? It means you'll never touch any of the volume on the bigger legs. So what's the point in having a bigger leg? Okay, you can't brag about people about how you had this huge leg because you don't get paid a single dime from it. Okay, so here's an example of what I mean by payout on all legs. Okay, in my example here of ABC company, it's actually a real company out there that does this, but I can't use their name. So if ABC company pays you 10% on the weaker leg, which is GWT that pays you 10% on both of the legs. Okay, what's going to happen here is in company ABC, there's you, and you have this big right team. Okay, it's called your power leg or your common leg. Let's say you had 100,000 volume over here, and all of a sudden you had one person who joined your left team, and they brought in 1667 worth of volume for you. Okay, in ABC company, if they paid you 10% on the weaker leg, how much did you make? Well, 10% of the weaker leg, which is 1667, is $166.70. That is your payout for ABC company. Whereas in GWT, we pay you 10% on both of your legs, and it's a variable plan. So what happens in GWT, same scenario, there's you. Here's your power team on the right team, and one person joins on your left team and brings you 1667 worth of volume. What happens? Well, 10% payout of on both legs of 1667 on the left. It'll take 3333 from the right side because you have 100,000 volume there for a grand total of 5,000, which pays you how much, folks? 5,000 pays you $500. Question: would you rather get paid $166.70 for exactly the same effort, or would you rather get paid $500? If you choose 166, it means you're brainwashed. I'm sorry, it means that you're just a little bit too passionate about this other company, and it's not logical. Because logically, it makes sense to take the bigger paycheck, right? So that is what I mean by payout on all the legs. Now, the number 8 pitfall is payout on legs. Is it variable? Okay. What that means is there's a compensation plan requirement on your legs to be balanced. So you have to do some sort of balancing on your two legs to get paid out on this volume. In other words, does it have to be 50-50? Does it have to be a 1/3 or 2/3? Does it have to be a 2/3 or 1/3? So in other words, of the volume you're bringing in, do you have to balance the volume equally on both legs? And in the old days, it was always 50-50. Then it became like a 1/3, 2/3, or 2/3, 1/3. Well, in GWT, the grass is greener, the air is fresher. GWT is all of the above in all combinations. So GWT, you can have a left volume of 2,500 and a right volume of 2,500. So it's a 50-50 split. It could be a left 2,000, right 3,000, a left 3,000, a right 2,000. So it's variable. But at the very least, it's also 1/3, 2/3. So it could be 1667 on the left, 3333 on the right, or 3333 on the left and 167 on the right. It pays you in all combinations of the above, which is what's so incredible about our company. And again, I've seen so many other comp plans out there in the world that make you do all this crazy balancing, and the reality is you never know which leg is going to be bigger. So again, a lot of these other companies, make you balance your legs, and however, in a binary system, you never know which leg will be bigger. So in our company, it doesn't matter which leg becomes bigger. We pay you out on all combinations. And moving along here, just doing one quick fix up on the slide here before we go along here. All right, and play again. So again, we just finished the slide over here. So it's sort of a little IT going thing going on here. So there we are. So here's an example of what it can look like on a variable pay leg. So two examples here again. Company ABC pays you 10% based on a 50-50 plan versus GWT that pays you 10% on a variable plan. So scenario number one, company ABC, there's you. Here's your bigger right team again, $100,000 of volume here. You got 1667 of volume coming in on the left team. Well, in other companies, what happens, if you're lucky, is it takes 10% of 1667 left and right side, so total of 3333, and it pays you 10%. So 10% of 3333, which is 50-50 added together, right, pays you $333. Whereas at GWT, we pay you 10% payout on both of the legs combined together, but with a 1/3, 2/3 variable. So in our company, we take 1667. We don't just take another 1667 on the right side. We take 3333 from the bigger side. For a total of 5,000, it pays you 500. So again, would you want to choose a company that pays you $333 for the same effort, or would you choose $500? Okay, if you chose 333, then game over. It's a bit of a brainwashing there, right? You want to choose a higher payout, get paid more for your efforts. Pitfall number 9 is all about requalification. Do you need to maintain certain qualifications or were qualified to keep your commission payout? Okay, if you have to do any kind of requalification of any kind of sort, then game over. Okay. Pitfall number 10, a big one, is payout retention. Pay very key attention to this one because it eliminates 99% of the companies out there. Okay, what is your company's retention ratio for monthly reorders? In other words, the DSA average for best distributor monthly activity ratio for monthly orders is 6%. It means after 1 year, if you had 100 people in your team, maybe 6 of them are still left paying every single month. That's the average. Okay? In GWT, we're at least 40+%. That's literally, almost like 500% more than the average. Because the DSA average for best distributor retention ratio, so people who actually renew every single year in the business, is 10%. And GWT is 50+%. So we are literally going several times beyond the industry averages here. So here is Renee's opinion. Again, people join MLM or network marketing to make money. Okay, because if people sometimes say, well, no, they're actually joining because they want to buy the products. Because really, if they're there for the products, there are thousands and thousands of other options in the market out there, and some of them are not even MLM. You can buy them at Walmart or Shopper Drug Smart or whatever, right? Loblaws. So again, if you happen to join the health and wellness industry, according to DSA stats, there are at least 30 million people in North America that are promoting health and wellness. I'm sorry, game over. There's too many people competing against you. Okay, so the question I have to ask you guys is: are you here to make money once, or are you here to make money for life? So are you here here to build a company, after 3 years make all this money and then have it die on you, or are you here to make money once and make it for life? Okay, because normally what happens in the industry out there is every single 3 months a brand new company comes out with the best products in the whole entire world. Well, if that happened to you, so you're already in a company, another company comes out and they're promoting the best product. It's super natural, it's super high antioxidants, it kills all the free radicals, it can grow you a leg, can grow your hair for you. What are you gonna do? Well, do you keep fighting with these new companies and constantly in a product battle to figure out which one's the best? And by the way, every distributor in every company can say bad things about other health companies. It's funny, I talk to an Amway guy who can say all these bad things about every other company, and I talk to these other companies say all these bad things about Amway. So it's constantly a battle to try to figure out who's the best. And it's such a pain. So, or do you watch your team leave you and join these other companies now because there's a newer and better product? Or, do you try to leave first and then bring your team with you and keep switching a new company every few months? And I'm so sick and tired of seeing people switching companies from left, right, and center and bringing people with them because it's creating a huge amount of casualties in the field. People are getting hurt, okay, because they don't know what's better out there. And again, how often do you see a leader switching companies, right? But people think it's a good thing. Like, wow, this guy's switching to this new company. It must be great over there, right? But do you ever ask yourself, why do these leaders switch companies? Why? There's only a few reasons. Either they're not making any money, or their teams are leaving them and they know that the money is going down. So either way, it's a bad thing. So don't think that when you see a leader switching to this new other health product company, it's a good thing. It's actually a bad thing. So again, if you have to also become half a doctor in order to sell your products, game over. Okay? Do people need to try your products and test it for a few months? My first company, they had to. People will buy my vitamins, and after 3 months, some of them had diarrhea, some of them had, stomach pains, and I was taught from training, hey, just keep on taking them because after a few more months, you'll feel better. Half year down the road, they're still having stomach problems, still having stomach pains and diarrhea. So again, do people have to try your products? Because if they have to try your products and test it out, then it's not going to be high retention because eventually they'll find something else or they might find something better. Okay, or they might have a problem with your products. Okay, so what's nice again is our company doesn't sell a need, we sell a want. So does your company sell a need or does it sell a want? Because what is stronger than a need? A want. A want is always stronger than need. For example, people don't need to smoke, but they want to smoke. People don't need to drink, but they want to drink. People don't need to shop, but they want to shop. People don't need to buy brand name things. They want to buy brand name things. Okay? So GWT, what's nice about our grass, what's more great about our air is people actually want our products. It's an instant appeal, instant gratification. There's no need to test out the products. Our products don't expire, they don't go bad, they don't go obsolete. They actually gain value over time. They can be passed on generation after generation after generation, and they make you look good. And that is why we have such a high retention ratio in GWT. And again, to summarize, if your company sells vitamins, plain simple, game over. If your company sells juices, plain simple, game over. Does your company sell weight loss? If it does, then game over. Does your company sell health or wellness? If it does, then game over. You have too many people competing against you out there. Does your company sell telecommunications? Again, game over. Or technologies, game over. Because does your company sell something that someone else can come out, copy, imitate, duplicate, and get people to switch from your company to another? Because there's nothing preventing another company from coming out and copying the same model as you have and wanting to get people to buy their product instead of yours, then game over. Because in GWT, what's nice about our air and what's tasty about our grass is we are a brand. Okay, people love buying brands, and no one just shops at Coach or just Gucci. It's not like people just buy from Fairy and not from LV, or from LV not from Fairy. People buy from all kinds of brands. I think most women would love to have one of each kind of purse. A Fairy purse, LV, Chanel, Gucci, Prada, Burberry, right? They want to have more than one of it. Again, at GWT, we have Plankston that no one else has. We have Fairy Mosh 19K and 21K that no one else has. And the brand itself, Fairy, Fairy Mosh, and Posh by Fairy. So we don't have these problems that other companies will go through. I can guarantee you, if you don't believe me, go and try it out. Go out there and try being in a health company, see how tough it is. Because I can guarantee you, the grass is greener and the air is fresher at GWT. And pitfall number 11, a big one here, is a payout ED ratio, is your earning per distributor ratio. How much can you make, okay, from each of the people in your team? In other words, what is your average earning per distributor in your company? Now, according to industry stats, okay, if you are in the health and wellness company, at most, you're making $1 per distributor. What does that mean? It means to make $10,000 per month residual income, you have to have at least 10,000 people in your team because you get paid $1 per person in your team, okay? And if you are in the high-tech telecommunication companies, it's up to 30 cents, even worse than health and wellness because there's even lower profit margin. Okay, so to make $10,000 a month, you have to have like 30,000 people in your team. GWT, we pay up to $8.93 per distributor head. It's the highest in the industry because the math behind this, if you're a math person, is 5,000 points pays you $500, right? That's our payout. While a diamond member in your team gives you 90 points per month. So 56 diamonds times 90 points basically will surpass 5,000 points and will pay you $500 a month of residual income. So if $500 payout from 56 people, it means that you'll make $8.93 per distributor. That is 800% more than the average. Not 100%, not 200%, 800% more than the average. Okay? So again, would you rather have 100 people in your team that'll pay you $100 per month, or have 100 people in your team paying you $893 per month? Again, game over. Pitfall number 11. It's a very small one. It's talking about the payout in retail sales. In other words, does the people in the company actually have real retail sales? Because so many companies are out there promoting retail sales and how much you can make in these retail sales. But in most cases, no one is actually selling retail because the product simply costs too much at the retail level. So, if it's costing you $180 a month to buy vitamins like it did for me, but the retail price is over $300 a month, who's going to buy it at the retail pricing, right? And so the DSA has a big problem with most companies because most companies promote retail, but no one's doing it, okay? Whereas in GWT, what's nice is that people actually do retail sales. So again, example, ABC company here is promoting that they sell all kinds of products online, and their entire presentation is talking about online sales and the power of online sales and the power of the internet. But the reality is that no one in that company is selling retail. I've even asked people in their company, so how many of you have this much in retail sales? And no one has anything in retail sales. So they're just getting a bunch of people to buy vitamins every single month because they know that the online sales for generic stuff is not going to happen. Again, game over. And this is actually a real company. For example, if you want to buy a keyboard because your keyboard just broke and you have no keyboard, okay, and you're driving by Best Buy and you want to buy a keyboard, would you decide to not go to Best Buy and remember that you have a friend who's selling this keyboard online and can sell it to you for 2 cents cheaper? Okay, so would you do that, or would you stop the car, go to Best Buy and buy the keyboard because you need it? Most people would not remember that you have this website that is selling these products, right? And if someone actually needs a keyboard, they're not going to wait for it. They're going to go and buy it right away. So again, that's why most companies that are promoting retail stuff online aren't doing any retail sales. Okay, but in GWT, again, the grass is greener, the air is fresher. We have insane retail profits through the lookbook catalog division, through the at-home branding party division, the online division, and through trade shows. And we probably have the most retail sales in any company on the DSA. And that's what makes GWT such a powerful company. Whew, pitfall number 12. Oh, this is a good one. Payout in matching bonuses. In other words, does your company actually even pay a matching bonus? And if it does, how much does it pay out in the matching bonus? Because some companies don't even pay a matching bonus, first of all. And some companies I've seen pay a very high matching bonus, but be careful because a big percentage payout matching bonus on a small number is still a small number. For example, I see this company, it's actually a real company, and this company pays you 100% matching bonus on your personal sponsored member, John's check. But because this company focuses on bonuses and not on commissions, John made $20 team commissions. You made a 100% matching bonus, so you would have made a $20 check. Okay, a $20 check. So again, they made $20 and you made $20 because you just matched their paycheck. Okay. Um, However, going back to the slide here, in GWT, you get paid 10% matching bonus whenever someone in your team, like John, makes $500. So 10% of $500 is $50, whereas that's a lot more than the $20. Okay. Now, in other cases, some companies pay you what we pay you, which is 10% matching bonus on on uh on the same matching bonus. So in other words, some of the companies will pay 10% matching bonus on your first generation, which is 10% more than the initial ours. They only pay you $2. So 10% on $20 only pay you $2, which is a lot less than our $50. So doing some quick IT stuff here again. So again, GWT get paid 10% matching bonus whenever they make 500, which is $50, which is more than twice than the other company's matching bonuses here. Okay, so be very careful that if the company is heavily focused on bonuses and not commissions, then it's certainly a game over clause. Okay. Now, pitfall number 12 is something that I got to talk about because most people don't realize that this is actually happening. But is there a payout to buy leaders? In other words, do people actually get paid to join this company? Because if your company pays leaders to join the company, then most of these big stories on stage are not real. So the question is, why in the world would a company do that? Go and buy leaders. Well, for example, let's do this. You and me, we go to Malaysia because my uncle lives there, and we go to the forest and we find some amazing mushroom extract, and we create the most newest, latest, and greatest, best product. It can grow a leg for you, can grow your hair, makes you taller, makes you slimmer, and makes you have six-pack. Okay, brand new product, amazing product. It's very special. The question is, we now have a product because we went there, we opened a facility, and we now have the things going and building there. The question is, how do we build the organization? How do we build this big team to make money in this company? Okay, because now we have this product. Well, do we start talking to people to join us? And our selling point is join us and be at the top. Okay, well, we could do that, but it's very slow because you're building one person at a time, right? So what's the faster way? Well, you try to get a leader to join you from another company. Okay, the question is, but will a leader who's making lots of money leave their company just to join you? The answer is no, because they're making a lot of money already. While they leave their company, where they're making $5, $10, $30,000 a month, and leave their company to join you. And so even though you're telling them, hey, you'll be the first one in our company, they don't care because they're already making this good money in another company. So how do you get these leaders? How do you attract these leaders who are good builders but are already making a lot of money in another company? It's simple. You have to pay them to join, right? Because why else would they join this company? So the question is that real? Is that a real paycheck? Is what they're making real? Because these other people would have gotten the highest rank for free while working for it. They would have probably inherited a bunch of people that they didn't even work for it. The reality is it's not real. These people who are getting paid to join the companies, it's not real. And meanwhile, these are the leaders on stage that are saying to you how much they have made and that you can make it too. But again, it's not real. And it's sad because And I know it's for a fact because me and a bunch of the other top earners in this company are constantly getting offers from other companies to join them, and and to bring our teams over there. But all of our top leaders know that there's no better company than GWT. So again, in GWT, not one single person was bought. Every earner made it from scratch. They built it from ground up, from the very bottom to the very top. And that's what's real. So the stories you hear in GWT are all real stories. Okay. And again, when you hear these amazing stories from other companies or even from our company, are you impressed? But more importantly, are you impressed by these fake stories? Because in my opinion, Renee's opinion, I always hear people telling me about, Renee, well, this company over here, I know this guy who makes $1 billion a year, and that's why they want to join that business. So, they're joins on the business because they know some guy who's making $1 billion a year. And I don't know who started this training kind of mythology and concept, but it's completely retarded. It's absolutely backwards because here's why. Firstly, these stories are 99% of the time not real because that person making all this money got bought out, or that person making all the money is actually one of the founders of the company, right? Secondly, if someone is actually making that kind of money, it usually means that the timing is wrong because it takes so many people. The EV ratio is so bad, $1 per person, that it takes so many people to get to making that kind of money, which means that most people have already heard of that company. So again, if people are talking about APC company, but out of 10 people who you talk to, 9 of them have already heard of it, game over. So no offense, I don't get why people, and I've only seen a few left, are still promoting Amway. Amway is a company that if you talk to 10 people, 10 of them have already heard about Amway before. It means the timing is too late. And I don't really get that whole concept, but if you want to make big money in our marketing, you gotta find a company that's that's the right timing, the right combination of a lot of things. And GWT, we have that here because again, the third thing, by the way, is never look at what someone else is making and assume that you can make it too. Look at the other facts and stats that we covered today, okay? Because in GWT, we only have 12,000 people across the world, and we're a brand, and we literally have the best opportunity on the planet to making your $1 million today, okay? So again, folks, it's time to live again. There is no compensation plan that pays more than GWT. I even have a website where I've actually put my analysis up of other companies. So if you want to get more information on this company, you're not really sure how to look at it, send me an email, rene.liao@gmail.com, and I'll have you happily look at that comment for you and post it onto my website. There's no product more unique in direct sales. There's also no product more unique in the world. No one else has 19K and 21K and Plankton. And it's a brand. I mean, we have a real opportunity here, folks. There's nothing more that you can ask for. And the only thing that you need to do, folks, is action. Because you can know all this great training, you can know everything, you can know every answer to every question in the world in GWT. But if you're not taking action and booking tours week after week after week, it doesn't matter. So what you need to do right now is with this training is apply action. And by the way, you don't have to become a master of this. You don't have to understand everything today, okay? All you have to understand is that we have the best paying comp plan based on this training. If you meet someone out there who is another company, you don't have to try to explain this to them. Have them watch the video. We have it recorded. If they have questions and they want to challenge us in the comp plans, have them contact me. So more than happy to do that for you. Again, folks, that is the end of my presentation. Wow, I want to thank you all for your time. I hope that it was very informative for you guys and that you learned a lot. I want to turn the call back to our amazing host for tonight, Boris Galka again, and maybe we can open up the line for questions or comments. But Boris, are you there?
Yes, Renee, thank you. That is such an amazing training. I've been involved in a few network marketing companies in the past, and I've never heard in my 22 years in this industry anybody teaching about compensation plans. Yes, we get this directly from our CEO, Ramin Masgarlo. He says, you're in a profession, learn your profession. You know, if we're going to get into any type of business or any type of job, we're going to be learning about that profession. And part of that is how we earn income in the business. Renee, I can't thank you enough for this training. This is an exciting training. You know, we need to know how income is being earned. We need to know how people are taking away our income from these compensation plans. And we need to know why ours is so unique. And thank you. I mean, you made it very clear for me. I really encourage people to have a second look at this. It is going to be recorded, or it has been recorded. Have a take a look at this. I know it's taken me several times in the training I've had over the years in compensation plans, and I'm still learning, and it's quite fun. One of the greatest things we get out of this as well is actually you're going to get paid for what you do and quite more. It's something unique. Very exciting. I thank you, Renee. Do we have any questions coming in or comments? I haven't seen any yet because Renee did such a great training. All the questions and answers are already answered in your training. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, actually, I do some questions here that are coming in through the, I guess, the panelist section here.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so maybe I can just quickly go through that here. I see Nora and Paul saying, thank you, Renee, for having this PowerPoint available for download. I cannot write fast enough. Okay, yeah. So just to share with everyone where you can find this PowerPoint, if you all go to my website, and that website, I'm just going to go there right now for you guys on my screen here and share with you my screen. If you go to ourgwt.com, so ourgwt.com, as you can see on my screen here, okay, it's actually where I put a lot of the trainings from our top leaders in the company in one place for you guys to look at. On the left side here, you'll have all the different categories for trainings. And I'll be putting up on the left side here, a section for composition plan pitfalls. So if you give me about a day, I'll have the video put on YouTube and a link to YouTube as well too. So Boris, can you see my screen? Because I see someone asking me what screen. Are
I
you
do
able?
see your screen.
Okay,
Yes,
okay, thank
it
you very much.
says that you are still connecting.
Okay, so I think some people can see my screen, which is great. So
Yep,
on this
it's
page
on now.
here, fantastic. Thank you, Boris. So left side, you'll see composition plan pitfalls below comparison. Then if you click on comparisons, I had on my previous website a bunch of other comp plans that I previously compared against. I'm in the progress of moving over like 50 of them onto this page here, but it just takes, the usual IT copy and paste type stuff. So in the future, I will be putting a lot of the other comparisons that we do for other companies here as well too. So that's where we will find, you can find that PowerPoint available for download very soon. Um, I believe that it says here, Gord McClure says, where can I find the notes for this webinar? I know many of us have missed portions and would like to retrieve it to read for ourselves. So again, yes, I will have that PowerPoint available for download again on this website very soon here. Errol Trevor says, where can we get this download training? Oh, yep. So again, that will be available by tomorrow as well too. From David Kapitanovich, he says, wow, what an awesome webinar. GWT has the greatest comp plan in our marketing. Game over. Yes, thank you so much, David. You are right. We do have the most insane comp plan in the world, and I can challenge that down to a logic and down to the 5 key points. From Sean Haynes, my brother from another mother, he says, great training from my brother from another mother. Regional Ambassador Renee Liao, bring the truth on why the GWT comp plan is the best of the best and the only one to bring true residual income for life. Again, Sean, I know you and I, and of course Lior and Boris and Rez and all the other top leaders, we all understand the power of the GWT comp plan. So again, we are completely in sync there and absolutely agree with that as well too. From Darcy McManus, they said, Renee, I'm so impressed with your in-depth analysis. Thank you for sharing. You're very welcome, Darcy. Rich says, where will this slide be posted? Again, it will be posted on my website very soon. Um, I got an awesome comment here. And then Norma Park says, great presentation, Renee. Thank you very much, Norma. From Aiden says, thank you, Renee, for your presentation. It was so informative and something we all need to be aware of. Thank you very much. Aiden from the TNT team in Brantford, Cambridge, and Kitchener. Thank you very much, Aiden, for being there. Again, from Errol Trevor says, wow, 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 Fairy Diva and the team at Errol's house on the call. Thank you, Renee, for such a wonderful training, so much notes. We're all pumped and proud to be part of such a wonderful company. GWT LC's Let's get out and share with the world what we have at our fingertips. Thank you, Sanaz and Ramin. And yes, I do have to give a special thanks to the creator and founder and the man with the expertise, uh, voted, ranked top 3 best comp plan experts in the world, with a huge heart and passion for creating this comp plan. Our very own CEO, Mr. Ramin Masgarlu, for creating this amazing comp plan and taking out all the roadblocks and pitfalls that every other comp plan has to go through. From Suzanne Miller says, thank you, Renee. I appreciate all the information. Great training. I got a big yeah from Harold, Trevor, and the team. From Isaac Ojagwe says, thank you, Renee. Fabulous, fantastic comp plan in the universe. And again, a bunch more thanks from everyone else on the call. So again, folks, I believe that's all the questions and comments we have for tonight. If you do have any last minute questions or comments, me and Boris will be here just to hang on for a bit longer to answer those questions on your behalf. Aside from that, though, I believe that's pretty much it for now. So, Boris, I want to say thank you very much for taking your time for being my host for tonight, and looking forward to seeing you very soon in Alberta.
Thank you, Renee. It's always an honor representing the #1 company in the world, and I have to agree with you. It's such an honor that we are part of someone who has created this for us with Ramin and Sanaz. It's just a great privilege. We thank you for all your time tonight, luxury consultants. We are honored to have you all on this call as well. Keep sharing and spreading the good news. This is just a fantastic, safe business anywhere in the world that we can have so much fun with. If you choose to, take action. Let's have fun. We'll see you all at the conference in April.
Okay, thanks, guys. Have a good night, everyone, and see you at convention.